The Illuminati card game, released by Steve Jackson Games in 1983, is a game where players compete with each other to dominate the world. Although it's just an old card game, the game has many different cards that have actually resembled real-life events, despite being created so long before, and some think there are several cards that are yet to happen. In short, there are many theories that these cards have predicted or possibly showed foreknowledge of some of the catastrophes we have witnessed since the game has been created, such as 9/11 and many more. The creator, Steve Jackson, claims the game is a lighthearted parody of the Illuminati and other secret organizations. To people who don't know, the Illuminati, also known as the New World Order, is theorized as a group of people who pride themselves on world domination and reducing the population of the world for the better, or better evil. The Illuminati has been theorized to control most of what you hear on the radio, see on TV or movies, and even people with power. Back to the game would go on to release several versions after 1983, with one of its most popular set being released in 1990. The game titled The Illuminati New World Order. There's a story surrounding the game that its creator, Stephen Jackson's office, was raided by the Secret Service in 1990, with some of his computer equipment being seized. Stephen Jackson Games would be accused of fraud and hacker activity. However, the accusations failed to have much weight to them, and the judge threw the case out and dropped all charges. One theory that remains why the Illuminati never came after Stephen Jackson. This was because the card game would potentially fictionalize the group and make people think it's just a made-up group in a card game. Everything was all good until an event happened in 2001 that showed one of the cards in the game becoming a reality. Here are a few events that were illustrated in this card game before they happened in real life. Number 1. The 9/11 terrorist attack on the Twin Towers. This card is definitely one of the most controversial cards, since they definitely show two identical towers. They show an explosion just around the same area of the actual crash, and also, the title of the card begins with terrorist. Adding on to these, the picture also shows the towers being the tallest buildings around. And before you say a nuke wasn't the cause of this event, many theories exist that the planes could not have caused such an impact as it did without the help of explosives. Also take note of the building in the card that has an Illuminati symbol right on it. Number 2. The Pentagon attack on 9/11. This also happened the same day as the Twin Towers attack. The picture shows the Pentagon with the center up in flames. After Flight 77, who was allegedly flown by pilot Hani Hanjour, an inexperienced pilot who couldn't even pass flight school, the plane crashed into the Pentagon, causing that part of the building to go up in flames. Number 3. Backlash. This card shows a black male on the stand with something I would assume is paintball shot at him. Could this possibly be the backlash that President Obama is seeing today? Especially with the decisions being made lately regarding the situation with Russia and Turkey. There is no doubt that Obama is receiving backlash from everyone during this time. Number 4. Princess Diana's death. Although the card does not mention death, it is pretty weird that the card was made since Princess Diana died 2 years later. The picture also shows a lot of paparazzi surrounding her. It's crazy because she died while allegedly fleeing paparazzi. Was her death an accident, or was it a murder? Number 5. The oil spill disaster. There's a card in a deck that shows an oil spill and a dying bird. This happened in 2010 in the Gulf of Mexico. There are also theories of a movie called Knowing, starring Nicolas Cage, that would predict the oil spill almost exactly a year before the event happened. In one scene in the movie, Nicolas Cage comes home at night and turns on his television. It is 11:59 p.m. and the news announces an oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico had exploded. Right after this, a paper full of letters appears on a movie, showing the number 666, which is the number of the beast. Many people refer to this as predictive programming. Was this event planned ahead of time by the Illuminati? Number 6. Combined disaster. This card shows a city being destroyed along a huge clock collapsing. Many people believe this card represents Japan, and the clock in the picture heavily resembles the Waco clock tower in Ginza in Tokyo, Japan. This combined disaster actually happened in March 11, 2011, when 9.0 magnitude earthquakes would occur, with a major tsunami following right after, with waves reaching 6.6 feet high along the Pacific coastline of Japan's northern islands. Is this another coincidence? Number 7. Joggers. Could this card have predicted the Boston Marathon bombing? This card shows a woman running with green clothes on, which is the color of the Boston Celtics team. In the card description, it says, "No one ever suspects a harmless jogger," and the word assassination. Number 8. Population reduction. This seems to be Illuminati's main plan, to reduce the population. In the card, there's a black cloud formulation of a face. During 9/11, many faces were spotted in the dark flame clouds coming from the impact. Could that represent that? Or could this be some type of biological attack waiting to happen in New York? Number 9. Back Masquerade. This card represents something we can see very often today: demonic messages in music and movies. In the image, it shows a person recording music and guys in red outfits guiding the musician. Is this why we see music videos representing satanic imagery? Although this may have been present at the time of the cards being made, the speculation of musicians signing their life away is a lot more open for public to see with the exposure of social media in this new generation. Many artists that are not very popular or all of a sudden fall off the grid claim to have skipped out on signing their life away to these people. Some notable celebrities that have spoken out against the Illuminati are Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, DMX, and Tupac Shakur. Number 10. World War III. This card shows something that looks like a nuclear bomb destroying a city. The scary part about this card is that we are not too far from World War III. Hell, we might already be in it. With the downing of Russia's plane by Turkey, the allegations that Turkey is feeding money to ISIS for cheap oil, and disagreements between US and Russia, we may be headed for an all-out nuclear war between NATO and Russia with China. This card may not be too far-fetched. As Albert Einstein puts it, "I know not what weapons World War III would be fought, but World War IV would be fought with sticks and stones." There are many more cards in the Illuminati card game to be seen. Was there someone who had foreknowledge of these events and helped create this game? Was that person a time traveler from the future? Was this all planned by the Illuminati? Or is this all just a coincidence? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and definitely share. This is the Mad Army.